Good morning. In Acts chapter 9, we read this. Meanwhile, Saul was still breathing out threats, murder threats against the early Christians. He went to the rulers, the high priest, and he asked him for letters of introduction to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any there who belonged to the way, whether they were men, women, whoever they were, he might take them as prisoners to Jerusalem. Now, as he got close to Damascus on his journey, suddenly a light from heaven burst all around him, and he fell to the ground, and hearing a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Why are you doing this? Who are you, Lord? Saul asked. Paul's conversion is spectacular. Why? Because there he is, busy going around doing what he thought he should be doing, persecuting Christians and killing them. You know, it's absolutely amazing to think about it. He must have subsequently been ashamed and embarrassed about his behavior. Like Paul, we may find ourselves the beneficiaries of revelation in which we suddenly realize that we've missed a way. Moments in which we encounter God's heart over issues we feel strongly about. And we invariably have to change our approach, our vocabulary and our attitude. Even though we're right, love has got to be the motivating factor behind everything that we're doing. If Paul had not been humble, I doubt he would have encountered Christ or submitted to him. Something that Christ sees in Paul, the zealot, draws Christ close to Paul. And because of Paul's desire for God's kingdom in general, he could have a desire for the kingdom of God through Christ. It's interesting. I wonder how Paul felt when he was blinded. He had to sit for 3 days waiting for his eyes to be healed, probably never knowing if he would ever see again, an indication that he was blind and needed his sight restored. I love the early church's designation of themselves. They were the way. I love that perspective. I love the early church's thinking about the fact that they were on a journey, and Paul was on a journey. God turns up and showed them, actually, Paul, you're blind. You think you can see, but you're blind. Now sit for 3 days and work out what the problem is. And then God sent mercy to him and restored his sight to him. In that period of sitting there, I wonder how much of Genesis to Malachi Paul would have thought about concerning Christ, seeing his image throughout the scriptures, understanding what he had been blind to. Most of our conversion is not as dramatic as that. But do we take the time to stop like Paul had to stop and consider the implications of the revelations we've had, the encounters we've had with Jesus? Before we do anything in this day, before you do anything else, take a moment, just a few moments, just to reflect on the revelations you've had about Christ. You know, if you're going to proceed with great power to do great things, it's got to come out of revelation that you've received from Jesus. So I pray today that God will open your eyes, God will help you, that you'll know the blessing of God in everything that you're doing. And that throughout this day, that every encounter that you have with God, you just take a moment to pause and think about it and think about what it means, so that you can be people of the way. The Lord bless you. Have a great day.